Greetings viewers, welcome to Shamu's Equal Access talk show on Zondex TV. We are at the University of Western Cape in Cape Town, where we are at the book launch of a book called Management and Mitigation of Acid Mine Drainage in South Africa, Input for Mineral Beneficiation in South Africa, in Africa as a whole. This book was written by Dr. Shingirirai S Mutanga and Dr. Munyaradzi Mujuru. The two are research scientists in the field of mining especially. So they've come up with this book because there's been a lot of acid mine drainage that is just spilling out of the mines, and this book is to kind of alleviate, bring a solution to a problem, to kind of alleviate and probably turn that acid water drainage into drinkable water. So I'll be speaking to the two gentlemen later in the program to find out what motivated them and what inspired them to write this book. Thank you for watching. So I'm joined in here today by Dr. Shingirirai S Mutanga and Dr. Munyaradzi Mujuru. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm here for the book launch of Management and Mitigation of Acid Mine Drainage in South Africa, Input for Mineral Beneficiation in Africa at University of Western Cape. I want to start with you, Dr. Mutanga. What made you sit down and come up with this concept?
Basically, it's my lead editor with me here, Dr. Munyaradzi Mujuru, who has been working within this field for quite a number of years. And when we sat down together, we realized that there was a potential for us to collect the expertise around the issue of acid mine drainage and come up with a collective that can be used as a foundation for propagation of knowledge and also for policy advice to this critical challenge of the world that we have today.
Dr. Mujuru, just a funny question. Who approached you on this idea?
It was me who talked to Dr. Shingi, having realized he had been involved in a number of book projects like the energy transition in Africa. So he realized that expertise would help in this book project, putting together a lot of tremendous work that has been done in South Africa on the research in acid mine drainage in a book form.
When I was listening to the speakers inside, it looks like you went through a lot of people that contributed to the book launch. How was the collaboration with all those people for the day or like this today to come up with this book?
Okay. Basically, we looked at experts within the different fields or different disciplines, but with an element of the ability to coin to the challenge that we have for the day. And we had to invite them, so we had a call for expression of interest for those identified scholars. As you notice, it's an array of, we have professors and doctors from different higher education institutions, universities, research think tanks in South Africa, and also even outside South Africa in the UK and so forth. So we had, about 2 years back, a book conceptualization workshop where we teamed up with everyone and synthesized the ideas that we had to come up with a thread for the book project.
Dr. Mujuru, coming up with a book like this means that there is a problem that you have seen. Is it the solution or part of the solution?
We could say this is the launch of the solution. From this book, we can start to develop answers that will solve the problems South Africa and other African countries are facing on this issue.
Any examples of mines that have this problem, acid drainage?
There are lots of mines in South Africa which have been abandoned with no owners, in West Rand, in central Johannesburg, in East Rand, as well as in Mpumalanga, the coal mines. And these mines, after mining stopped, have been forming acid mine drainage, and in some areas it has started to decant on surface in huge volumes. Okay. Yes.
And the impact on the environment?
Certainly, as the book alludes to, the introductory chapters actually, they look at what impacts on water resources, social impacts actually, that are health issues that we get out of this challenge, and also the financial challenges actually that are alluded to this problem. And obviously getting the technology innovation to address this comes with a lot of heavy costs that costs the different sectors, government and private sector as well.
What was your target market? Is this the students or is the actual mines themselves?
Our target market is the researchers in various institutions, as well as policy advice to people in government and in parliament, as well as to the mines themselves.
Okay.
Yes.
So launching here at the university, was it the best idea? Or?
The university, as you know, is a nexus where all people crisscross, because the university is working with various stakeholders, including industry and government. So it is a meeting place for all those people. That's why we decided to launch here.
Out of the topic, Dr. Shingirirai,
yes,
we are having problems of water in Cape Town. Have you been following what the city of Cape Town is trying to do for people not to abuse water?
Yes.
Or what happens if water runs out in Cape Town?
Okay. Yeah, definitely we are at I'll call it a ticking time bomb of the 21st century. And Cape Town is not an exception to the challenge of water scarcity that we have in the world. And obviously there's need for us to really come up with innovative ways through which people are conscientized on how to use water in a sustainable way.
Is it very difficult to take water out of the sea and use it for household consumption?
It is. It is not as easy as treating water that is in a dam here, but there are other countries which are already using water from the sea, countries like Israel. It is technology which can be adapted to South Africa, and it can be used in cities like Cape Town. Initially it will be expensive, but it can be done. Yes.
Any closing comments, Dr. Shane?
It's such an exciting day for us because the journey that we've been has come to reality, and launching of this book, we hope it will benefit those that are intended to benefit out of this initiative.
The exciting part of this book for me is that we must see the acid mine drainage problem as an opportunity, because in one of the chapters in this book we are talking about the opportunities that exist in acid mine drainage. For example, water itself, treating the acid mine drainage to drinking water quality, getting minerals from the acid mine drainage like iron and other precious metals which can be used. And these technologies are already being piloted in other research institutions.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to the program. Hope to see you soon, and all the best for, is this volume 1? Is it going to be volume 2? Oh, that's all. That's it.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yes.
Well, we'd like to see a follow-up on this book.
True.
Okay.
Thank you.
Probably maybe what can I say? A model of a mine or people who have actually taken this book and used it to solve the problem. Hey, thank you so much.
Much appreciated.
That's what you can't put. I'm sitting here with Professor Dominic Mazurasi. He's going to tell us a little bit about the management and mitigation of acid mine drainage in South Africa. A book launch that we are witnessing today by Dr. Shingirirai Mutanga and Dr. Munyaradzi Mujuru. Professor, good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Just your little comments on the management and mitigation of acid mine drainage. What is it all about?
Well, as you would know, there's a long history of mining in Southern Africa, in South Africa in particular. And because of the mining activities that occur in the process of extracting of minerals, those minerals, they react with water and form an acid. And this acid, when it mixes with fresh water, at the end of the day, is the contamination of fresh water, which we use for day-to-day purposes.
That's right. For the past years, since the mines have been in existence, is this the right time to publish this book? Why did it take so long?
Well, like everything else, increasing knowledge about the severity of the problem is one of the major issues, and the growth globally of understanding about the human effects on the environment, the undesirable effects. So you could say it could have been earlier, but it's all about knowledge progression. And of course, you also know that the water resources themselves are becoming limited, and therefore people are paying more and more attention to the limited water resources, and therefore this problem.
Any technology that is being used at the moment to cap this system?
In terms of technologies, you will have to discuss with some of my colleagues who are experts in the field.
Sure.
But some of the issues are to do with policies, regulations. You've already had the whole problem about old mines. Yeah, that's all. So in terms of technology, we'll have to discuss with some of my colleagues who are specialists in this.
Sure. What was your major role in the book?
In this book here at the University of the Western Cape, we have got an interest in issues to do with water. The Institute for Water Studies is collaborating with the colleagues. Okay. So our role in this particular is facilitating, but we have got colleagues here who, like Professor Leslie Patrick in chemistry, they are doing quite a lot of work, and because it's the Institute of Water Studies, our work is to promote all the way research on water, and therefore this fits in with our mandate to promote.
To our partners, let me say that the African Institute of South Africa's role in knowledge production goes a long way in fulfilling the HSRC strategic vision, and therefore your support is key in enabling us to also attain our objectives. Our institute is well positioned to provide the integral research support needed for similar projects in future, and which fit very well along the broader framework of the global agenda on integrated water resources management. So we sincerely thank all our partners for collaborating with us in supporting with us on this project. Here at UWC, we are particularly grateful to the Institute for Water Studies, represented by Prof. Mazumavi and his team, for their active participation in the project, whose fruits we can now celebrate. We thank you all for your unwavering support.
Africa's industrialization, in my view, and I've been arguing this point for a long time, can come through development of backward linkages into the mining sector. And at this juncture, let me say, I'm very controversial about this point, and I always say, forget beneficiation is a waste of time for now. We need backward linkages, because we don't have it. So this is my controversial topic about this. But how does this link to the book? The two editors knew I was very passionate about mining as a means of industrialization in Africa. And they said, look at what mining has done. And I was taken aback. The point here is that as a researcher, both developing and coming up, you will have your views. Do not be shocked when there's a counter view. In fact, embrace the opportunity that comes to change your thinking, to change what you believe in. You can maintain the direction of where you are going, but you can change the route. This is the point that I wanted to bring in this book. So, when you look at mining, when I started reading, going deeper into the acid mine drainage problem, I began to ask questions. The first question was, what can I be in this problem of mining that I'm advocating for? You know, we've always been told there are solutions to every problem, but there's a counter view, there are problems to every solution. So no matter what you do, you will always leave room for somebody else to do. It will always be questioned. So if I can just reflect on the chapters that I read the entire book, because I happened to write the last chapter, which is not a concluding chapter. It is the last chapter. So if I have to implore you, if I can mark it, if you can't read the whole book, read the last chapter.
I'm privileged to have been maybe a contributor of a chapter, and that was made possible because those who conceptualize the idea. So when I look at this book, I really feel it gives a good story about AMD. The best approach, the editors tried to give maybe it's an introduction, because as we are saying, it's not any piece of written work. At times it probes people to think and go deeper and further. So when I was looking at this book, no matter which line you are coming from, could it be the chemical side, the mining side, you are thinking of beneficiation. I know currently there is a drive to do rare mineral mining, and I think it's one of the DST strategic area. I was looking at also at what makes this book unique. It talks of a South African story. We have been reading things written from all over the world, the Spanish legacy, everything, but maybe we've been failing to place ourselves into what we are doing as a country.
I just found out that HSRC or ISA, and ISA is producing or developing books when we started to develop this book. And for me as a NRF employee, even at that time, I've been in the system for a very long time. It was shocking to the colleagues that I haven't seen one of their books in energy or any other sectors. But now in this forum, let's use this opportunity not to only sell the book, this one. We sell all the books that have been produced in the past and sort of create discussions, because this should not end up in the book. This should end up in people's mind, where they're thinking of finding solutions, discussions about where to go next, about other countries that are sort of having similar problems. So let's tweet the book instead of tweeting what's gonna happen tonight, and then put the book on Facebook and start the discussions. At least you know as much as we know about the book now, and you will be able to educate your colleagues, your friends, in terms of what's going on in the acid mine drainage space.
We cannot do away, or we cannot do without research as a country. So as the DTI, we are very grateful for research institutions, for their active role in developing critical problems, in developing critical solution to problems, socio-economic problems like this one. And we are saying we'll continue to fund programs like THRIP. You know, mining has always been the backbone of the economy of the country. So it made perfect sense when the NRF was approaching us to say, can we invest in a project like this one?
Okay, yeah, I would obviously start with the protocols, acknowledging, of course, Professor Davis Coleman, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Natural Resources, for gracing this occasion, which is so special to us, particularly myself and the lead editor and the contributors to this book. Dr. or Professor Majumavi, for also engineering and ensuring that this day becomes a reality right here at UWC, who happens to be the director for the Institute for Water Studies. My executive director, Dr. Claudius Chikojo, who has embraced and ensured that this day is actually a reality through his signature. My fellow colleagues, particularly those who have contributed to this book, Professor Mamer Tekere and Dr. Vuyo Mjimba and Dr. Lawrence, present in our midst as well. Mine, ladies and gentlemen, mine is just to give a vote of thanks. And my vote of thanks, I've categorized it into 3 sections. which is basically the journey that has brought us to this day, the key players that have been involved in this project, and particular individuals that have actually contributed and ensuring that this book project comes to fruition, and will conclude with this special day. There's an African proverb which goes, "A single man cannot surround an anthill." This project, since its inception, would not have been a reality had it not been the Human Science Research Council, in particular ISA program, that endorsed the proposal which we had submitted. As the saying goes, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a simple step. The conceptualization of this book project, the conceptualization of the idea around this, as Dr. Simelani indicated, it just started in an office, you know. We never imagined that it would get us to where we are today. But certainly, with the support of the Department of Science and Technology, the NRIF, Dr. Zolani Julius, we had to motivate in his own way as well to get it to reality through the TRIP project again, which is fully funded by the Department of Trade and Industry. And of course, the Africa Institute of South Africa. We have been the key institutional players that have ensured that resources are in place to ensure that this book comes to reality. It will be injustice for me to forget the role played by particular individuals, in particular in absentia, Professor Pindile Olorunjo, whose visionary support ensured that this project is a reality. Our publications division, Ms. Makwena and your team, may you rise so that people can see you. Believe you me, to come to a day like this, it's not all rosy. She's been back on my neck, back and forth, reviews and, you know, editing, what is it, your graphs, they need to be redrawn, you know, we need this to be clear and referencing. And when you're dealing with a multi-authored book, it's not an easy task because each author, and by the way, you're dealing with professors and, you know, who also know within their own specs, and you want to come to terms and they have a synthesized article which flows from the beginning to the end. A round of applause to our publications division. There's a very young man whom I want to stand again, Mr. Rodin Managa. Can you just rise? All the articles that have been manuscripts that were coming from the different authors, they were getting to him. All the communications that we needed, they were from him. And I'll just press a button and it will be done. And I said the experience that you get out of this, one day you'll be standing in front of the podium with your own book. And believe you me, as he was busy with this project, he was busy with his master's, which he got a cum laude as well. Today, as I'm happy, as we are launching this book, he's a full candidate, full PhD candidate while he was working with the with the Human Science Research Council. There was also someone who has been playing a very critical role, who is Ms. Elsie Maris. She's not with us, our financial administrator, who has ensured that all the financials regarding this project, they are well done and payments were timeously done, particularly to the different contributors. To my book chapter contributors, those that have supported us, like I said, it's not an easy process. Sometimes, often, you get contributors, right? And then, when the manuscript comes, when it goes for blind peer review and it's rejected, right? To you as the editor, you start sweating because you say, so what am I going to do? Because this is a very key or important article that should form part of this book. Or the other flip side is, the manuscript has got some heavy comments which need the author to address. And if the author is not cooperative to address those, it might be as well a fait accompli. But because I'm standing today, it's just a signal or testimony to show that the authors that we had, they've been cooperative, they've been hardworking. Despite the challenges that we had, it's all history. Today, we're rejoicing as we are launching this book. A big thank you to all the authors. Coming to this special event, which is the 29th of March 2017, again, I wish to say the University of the Western Cape, many thanks for taking this bold stance to host us as we're launching this book. Professor Majimavi and your team, many thanks to you, and it's such a great honor that we have held this book launch here at UWC, where a lot of research actually within the realm of acid mine drainage has taken place. Many thanks to you, the university at large, for giving us this opportunity. A round of applause to the UWC. Certainly, Dr. Chikojo and your team, the HSRC management, in particular AISA management, for again approving and ensuring that this book launch is a reality today, and the support that you have provided. Members of staff of UWC present, whom I've seen on the RSVP list, a lot of professors that are sitting in here, we really value the support that you have granted to us by honoring this event. It's so special to us, and it means a lot to us, in particular to me and my lead editor, Dr. Mujuru. I understand there are professors and doctors that have come all the way from Cape Peninsula University of Technology. May you show by raising your hands. Yes. It's such a great honor to have you with us today. Students and academics, friends and colleagues, a big thank you for honoring this day. And like I said before, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a simple step, right? Our collection today is just a simple step towards bigger steps that we need to take within the realm of acid mine drainage as we are confronting the intractable challenges that we have in our world today. And I do understand that you've been patient to sit in today, a long time. And as the African proverbial again says, any relationship that you have, if you get a visitor, although we are also visitors, I want to believe Dr. Chikojo and his team has as well ensured that at least we have some eats and refreshments, which I think our program director will handle. Last but not least, of course, I want to thank Dr. Simelan for engineering this program, and he's my boss, by the way, and I really appreciate the support that you have given us since the beginning to this wonderful day that we are on. And I encourage everyone to buy, and I'm sure will motivate UWC to buy books for the students as they have already echoed. A round of applause with many thanks to you once again.